G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tucker World Marks Point with this Friday's fishing report. Brought to you from Catherine Hill Bay. Fantastic backdrop looking down towards the jetty. And as you can see behind me, these westerly winds have been kicking in today. Peaked at around about 40 knots in the middle of the day up in Nobby. So look, some really gusty conditions. And then tomorrow, around about 20, 25, again westerly. So basically what you see behind me here, there's a little bit of swell that's happening and a little bit of chop towards the horizon is what we'll see all day tomorrow, and then into Sunday we're going to get a southeast change. You are allowed to go fishing nowadays if you're double vaccinated more than 5 kilometres, so it's going to start to see an expansion in our fishing capabilities basically, and certainly when the weather starts to ease over the next week or two, trips to the shelf down towards Texas and out on the farm will be those places that people have been busting to get to for the last couple of months. Look, water temperature at the moment on the coast, it is still fluctuating, and I haven't heard any great reports for our offshore anglers on these inshore reefs. We have got some really good tides, however, this weekend. Tomorrow high tide 6 o'clock and Sunday 7, so that's AM and PM. So some really good tides this weekend, building to the full moon at the end of the week. So look, you've just got to get out there and have a bit of a crack. If you're going to get on the rocks, as you can see, there's a bit of swell, and even this morning there was waves breaking right across the bar at Swansea, so you're going to need to be particularly careful with bar crossings with the angle of this swell. Rock fishing, look, we're down to Catho and it doesn't look that bad, but again, you need to wear the appropriate, life jacket, rock boots, always fish with a mate, and just be very sensible and have a look at the situation before you start. Probably 15-20 minute look and work out where your tides are. On the beaches, seeing a few tailor, few brim whiting, but again, not anything out of the ordinary. It's just got to start to build up, and I think we'll see some improvement as we start to move towards November. Some really nice mulloway caught in Lake Macquarie this weekend. Look, there's fish over a metre I've seen. I've got a report today of one that $1.35. There was another one $1.15. So there's some really, really nice mulloway getting caught. Squid the better baits, and you've got to put the time in. Just don't expect to get out there and catch one immediately. You need to put a bit of time in, but there's some great fishing going on. There's been some really nice whiting and brim now starting to build up on those flats. Tube worms in particular, the better of the baits at this stage of the game. As the prawn run nears after the full moon, we'll see probably a bit of a switch over some prawns, but tube is definitely working very, very well. Still a few ludrick in the channel as well, but again, those numbers are starting to drop off a bit as they start to move back offshore. Now last week we just capped on a little bit on the legalities with crab pots. As of Monday, what's basically happening is DPI Fisheries are starting a 2-year trial run, basically some experimentation. So even though we can only use witches hats in Lake Macquarie, 4 per person, they now bring in that you can use these enclosed type traps. But there is a few little things we must be aware of when we undertake them. We've had a lot of calls this week. So really, that is the most common of our enclosed type traps, and they've got 4 entrances on them. These entrances here need to be 32 centimetres. They cannot be any bigger. Once these entrances here get too big, this is when we see other creatures, turtles and the like, being killed. So you've got to be really careful. You're allowed 2 of these and 4 witches hats per person. The other trap that I've got here, which is really the point of interest for us at this stage, is the rectangular crab trap. Now this rectangular crab trap, as you can see, this is the danger one. Look how wide the entrance is here. This is the turtle killer. It's the one that takes all the bycatch. If you've got these traps and you want to use them, you've got to close them up. So double cable tie them up and only make sure that they're 32 centimetre maximum. The key to it is, even though we want to get a good feed of crabs, guys, you've still got to look after the environment. Now this week's ZEREK Fish of the Week winner, who gets 2 fish traps from the store, is Sam Sheldrick. And Sam went out, he's only started fishing in the last few weeks, and for his first couple of trips out, he sent us a great photo in of a 62 centimetre flathead. Again, another great effort. And look, it's just about being part of it. If you haven't fished before, just get a rod and reel. If you want some advice, come on down. But let's get out there and start fishing. Congratulations, Sam. Come on down this week, and I'll see you next week.